You're taller than me, so
It's much better.
Yep, all good.
So Mr. Earl Simpson is in on video.
no, Duke.
Catruck.
No, it's the Duke.
The Duke. All right, a few more persons being let in. Yeah, let's mute. Okay.
This meeting is being recorded.
Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Thank you very much for your patience. This is the pre-match press conference for Jamaica against Guatemala, friendly international at the Red Bull Arena in Harrison, New Jersey. Just like to say to everybody, thank you very much for your time to be here. I know there's a lot of different sporting disciplines taking place today, especially bearing in mind the latter stages of schoolboy football. A few matches in a couple of hours from now, and also different sporting disciplines in other sports as well taking place simultaneously. So thank you very much for taking the time to be here for this pre-match press conference. We are joined by the head coach of the Reggae Boys, Heimer Hallgrimsson, and also joined by the assistant coach of the Reggae Boys, John Wall, also head coach of the under-20s and also head of talent ID as well. So just a reminder to everybody, kickoff for tomorrow, it's at 7 p.m. So yes, there's daylight savings recently. So Jamaica is now the same time zone as the eastern part of the United States. So kickoff is 7 p.m. Jamaica time. That's the same in New Jersey as well. Red Bull Arena, that's the venue for the game, the same venue where Jamaica took on Argentina last year in Coach Hallgrimsson's first game in charge of the Reggae Boys. Before we open the floor for questions from everybody, we're going to get a few opening remarks from Coach Hallgrimsson, who will talk a little bit about the camp and other updates leading to what lies next, and also some remarks from Coach John Wall as well. Coach?
Yeah, thanks for joining. Strange to do a press conference on a Zoom call, but we'll manage. There's a lot of new things we have to adapt to, but this is one. But we're happy that you're on, and happy that there is so many persons on the call. Like Simon said, sorry for the delayed press meeting for this camp. It took a long time to pick the squad, both because we planned with two camps, so under 20 as well. So we were selecting players in the best interest of the players. So, and some players were not available. So we thought it was better to wait with announcing the squad until it was fully ready. So thank you for the patience there. We thought it was not appropriate to play a friendly game prior to such important games like Canada is. Probably it's a long time since Jamaica played as important games as the two Canada games we have in front of us. So, but it was decided to play against Guatemala. So we try to use this to our benefit, seeing players that are maybe fringe players that we haven't seen before. And we try to focus on domestic players and players playing in US. So that is the kind of the players we picked from at this stage. From our planning, we want to use January and February for these kind of games. But this game was decided, so we tried to do the best that we can do to give the players as best camp as possible to show that what they can do and to show both us and you, all of you Jamaicans, how good they are. So looking forward to seeing them perform tomorrow and see what they can give. And it's the same for the staff. So we took a limited staff and different people in our staff for this camp, because we would like to have all staff members fresh when it comes to play in Canada. Because that will be that will be almost 2 weeks together. And by the end of the FIFA window, we play the second leg against Canada, and we need everyone fresh there. So an extra 5-6 days of work, and the staff in the camp is working 24/7. So to have them for close to 3 weeks is we thought it's too much. So we tried to give most of them a rest for this camp. So we really appreciate the staff members that jumped into this one, and we think we're doing the correct thing, having everyone fresh.
Okay, thank you very much, Coach. Really appreciate it. Now, before we open the floor for some questions, just a few updates and remarks from John as well. A lot of traveling recently. How are things progressing as well, with an exciting 2024 that lies ahead, especially for the U20s?
Yeah, correct. It was a productive meeting I had with the technical board as of yesterday as well. The recent events has been that we actually are moving forward and not using the FIFA window as a next week for the U20s. There were too many external factors that would not provide the kind of the quality desired, and actually the safeguarding as well for the players. So for us, it has to be resolved quickly and talk in good sense with all key stakeholders of the clubs, players, and internally staff-wise. So we're moving on with on the horizon, looking at playing at Trinidad in December with mainly, or to everything, I would say fully domestic players. So we're actually using existing pools to actually give everyone a fair opportunity to prove themselves ahead of the qualifiers.
Okay, thank you very much. Really appreciate it. Now we use the opportunity to open the floor for questions. Firstly, we ask that you may raise your hand and indicate, and then you will be identified and pose the question, whether to Coach Hallgrimsson or to Coach Wall. So it's 2 questions per person, and we will be able to commence proceedings here so that everybody is aware. All right, so 2 per question, and we can be able to start. So we can start with the first person to raise their hand, and I will indicate. All right, we will start with sports down the middle. You may go ahead with your question.
Yes, good afternoon, Simon. Good afternoon, Coach Algerson. Coach, good afternoon. My first question is that I know this is a team that you just called it to have a look in. One of the players that we all been talking about is midfielder Tariq McGee. And he simply exceptionally well on Saturday. Would he get a look for the game against Canada, or would you like to see more?
Well, like always, not only this camp, but always, we're not thinking about individuals. We want to talk about individuals in per se. But yes, this is also why we don't want to talk about the squad for Canada until Sunday. We would like to see and have options for some players if they do good, to be able to be a part of the Canadian camp. So yeah, I don't know who is talking about who, but if somebody will do a good game, we have an open spot for the Canada game. So yeah, that is, I think I understood the question correctly, and that's the answer. Yeah. So you have to ask me again if I didn't answer it correctly. But there will be a spot available for the game against Canada. Yes.
Yeah, because we know that sometimes you don't change up your squad, which is good. Yes, and you've been with the same team almost every game you play. But yeah, I just want to know if he play exceptional well, will he get a look in for the Canadian squad? But you've answered the question well, sir.
Yeah, I'll just kind of repeat what I said. But for sure, this is not the best time for them to show, and it's a little bit unfair to those players that we have at this moment. They only have 2 training sessions, and then the minutes we will give them during the match. So we would rather do it, and we will for sure give them another chance in January when we have more time with them and etc. So then we can get to know them better than we can for these three days together.
Yeah.
Okay, beautiful.
Thank you very much, Tiga. Much appreciated. Robert Williams from IRA FM. I saw you did. You may proceed with your questions.
You muted, Robert. You muted.
Yes, coach. Sorry about that. Yeah, I want to ask about Dujon Whisper. He was initially in the squad, was withdrew from the squad, or was withdrawn from the squad. Not sure. Does it mean that he's going to be available or not available for the Canada game next Friday?
No, this is what we said just now, Robert. We will talk about the Canada squad on Sunday, correct, Simon?
Yes, that is correct. Sunday, when the delegation from New York arrives back into Jamaica, that's when we'll unveil the Canada squad.
Yeah. So, Robert, we are focusing on this one. We selected him for this one, but he withdrew from the squad. And that just gives another player a chance to show himself. So yeah, it really changes not a lot for us in the manner that we know Whisper what he can give to us. So it doesn't change that.
Thank you, coach.
I'll follow up, Robert.
In the sense,
No, it's okay.
Okay. All right. Livingston Scott had stated indicated as well from the Gleaner. You may proceed.
I like your glasses, Robert.
Thank you. Thank you, coach.
They look extremely fast, by the way.
And expensive.
Formula One red.
Yes, we didn't see. It looks like Mr. Livingston has logged off, but we can take Mr. Blake.
The recording This has meeting is stopped. being recorded.
Star name to pull the crowd in. What sort of Jamaican fan base are you expecting in New Jersey?
Yeah, start on Ravel, and you will not get another answer than I've answered before. I tried though to call him and just see, but I didn't get a reply. So I just wanted to check up on him because I think we have a good relationship. But it's the same whether it's a friendly or if it's an official game. You know, we need our players to be playing, so we don't have any clue where he is in fitness. But we have a clue, of course, where he is in match fitness, and that's probably not at the high level. So we just keep the same, even though it's a friendly, we keep the same procedures. But I hope he's doing better. I had like a text a few months back that he is feeling more fit, etc. So hopefully we'll see him, and for sure when he start playing again, we will for sure look at him and see if he is available for our squad. But the same answer. If you're not playing football, it's difficult to pick you for a national team.
Thank you, Coach, for being forthright, and we'll certainly pass the information on to the fans so that Ravel is still a part of the Reggae Boys picture. Coach John Wall, how are you, sir? My question is...
High, and I'm feeling pretty well.
Okay, good. My question is, the understanding I got from your presentation is that the under-20 game that was scheduled in Europe somewhere that would have had you looking at some of the players who are based in England and Europe, that will not take place prior to this international window, and would be in December. Is that correct? Just a clarification. Then the question would be, if it is in December, which is still outside of a FIFA window, how and when would you get an opportunity to look at the pool that is available out of the English leagues and the leagues in Europe?
Let's align it and make it very factual. I love that. We would have used the FIFA window. That is absolutely correct for U20s. That is out of the window now due to external factors, was out of our control. So I made the decision of canceling. That pool would have been exercised with both players from Europe and players from Jamaica. December is still outside of the FIFA window, yes. But as I said then, and just to be clear, it would be used for domestic players, because I don't like to use the word local, because then it would be only Kingston players, or it would be players from Mo Bay. Then you are local, so domestic players. Other than that, I will reveal the ideal plan internally that I have, as well as externally, but it is a lead up to the qualifiers. But I want to think more broadly about 24. So you have to plan and allow us to think that we can have qualifiers, CONCACAF qualifiers, and eventually World Cup. Because otherwise, if you're not planning for success or actually doing good, then you're going to trip on your own feet. So that's the major thing. And revealing players from different pools, that is still available and retainable. But certain players are playing first team minutes. Yes, that is harder because the qualifiers themselves are outside of FIFA. Hope that answers the question, Cataract.
Yes, it does. I won't detain the meeting. I hope that we have another opportunity to have a press conference and to speak about the under 20, but I don't want to take away from Coach Hallgrimson and yourself. The game in tomorrow, asking all the fans, watch this, please, the Ultras, everyone come out to New Jersey and support the team. We know Guatemala has a rock of support, so let's see some gold in there and get behind our boys.
Thank you very much, Mr. Blake. Much appreciated there. Let's now take Jason. You have indicated your hand. You may proceed.
Thank you, Simon. Good afternoon, Coach Wall, Coach Hallgrimson. First, I just want to say good luck in the games coming up. We are all 100% behind you and hope that you can pull out the results that we need to move forward in the competition. My first question is to Coach Hallgrimson. You had indicated when you first took over the team, we had a friendly game versus Cameroon, and I believe you weren't so, let's put it this way, you didn't speak so highly of taking that game at the time. And upon reflection, I wonder, now that we have another game now in a non-FIFA window, have you found any benefits to having these games? And the second part to this question is, I know the squad that was chosen for Cameroon was a very collaborative effort, which made total sense because you wouldn't know the players very much. I know it's still collaborative, but do you feel more strongly about the players that are selected for this current squad since you have kind of been around longer?
Yeah, so when we plan, we don't plan a month ahead or 2 months ahead, because we'd like to focus on what we are doing. And I think when we play Cameroon, it was in early days of our regime, so we didn't know a lot of especially the domestic players. So, and we were asked if we want to go all the way to Africa with domestic players to play a team that it was going and preparing the last preparation period for the World Cup. So it kind of didn't look very sexy offer for football reasons, traveling a long distance with a limited number of squad members and playing a nation that was going into a final World Cup preparation. So, but we at least had three, 4 days with some players. They came in, even the last players came in the day before the match. So we ended up with doing a really good draw against Cameroon, and we got to know these players quite well. Some of them have been more or less in the core since then. So that was beneficial, not only to us, but what was beneficial for these players. And now we have, again, a situation where we think that it would have been best for us to focus on Canada and solely on Canada. But this game was decided. So we want to use this opportunity as much to our benefit, seeing these players that we selected, talking to them, getting to know them, having them on meetings, etc. So we introduce them to what we are doing, and then we'll see tomorrow if somebody can shine, even though it's a little time. But I think we will do, and I think it's always beneficial to have these games, but it's always better than if we do it in blocks and give both us and the players more time together to get to know each other, etc. Did I answer this question?
I think so.
Yeah. Yes. Yes, coach. That was a very good answer. You did answer my question. Thank you. Thank you for taking my question, Simon.
All right. Thank you very much. Thanks very much, Jason. Livingston Scott, I know you've been trying to ask and raise a question. You may proceed now. I know you're chipping in and out, but you can go ahead, Livingston, from the Gleaner. Microphone muted.
Just want to know what the main intention is for the game tomorrow.
Yeah, all games we play, we go for the win. We always want to win, because that should be always the ultimate goal in a first national team. We know, though, that they have a squad that, how many were in the Gold Cup?
13.
So 13 from their group was in the Gold Cup. And their coach, Tena, came in on a similar time as us, and he has already played 22 matches with this team, since he took over. So they have more kind of understanding in their squad, because they have been many times playing together. So the individual understanding, the tactical understanding is probably much higher. In Guatemala, that was the opponent that impressed us the most in the Gold Cup. Really enthusiastic, the hard-working players, fast players, direct. So that is going to be advantage to them, that we haven't been much together. A lot of these players are touching base on what we want to do tactical wise. So it's a lot of information we give them on a short period of time. But we want to win for sure, but we also like to see what they can deliver in the areas that we want tactically, and also as team members. So some players for sure, and it's always like this in games and camps like this, some players will impress a lot. So who knows, maybe someone in this camp will continue and be with the first team in official games after this. But for sure, first and foremost, we want to do good, we want to play good, and we want to win the game. But we still want to try to keep our kind of our philosophy of how we play, etc.
Just to ask again, Coach, are there any particular position you're looking to strengthen, and is there any players, are these players, or are basically working to see if they can fill any of these spots?
Yeah, I think, of course, we've had some of the players in this group. Mario Phillips has been with us, Romario Williams, King, of course, Javin probably has been with us the most, and Jamali, the keeper. And then some players have been in some camps, King, Topi. So we're for sure looking at them to be the leaders on the pitch. But there are positions that we are short in, and we just like to see everyone. I think all of these players can push the players that have been in the squad.
Thanks very much, Livingston. Just a reminder, I know folks tuned in quite late coming into this meeting. As a reminder, the Canada squad that will be unveiled on Sunday. Let's go ahead to Mr. Taylor. You may go ahead, unmute and proceed.
All right. Can you hear me, Simon?
Yes, you may go ahead.
All right. Good afternoon, coaches. It's a two-part question, and you guys can split the question. Previously, I asked Coach John Wall about I don't remember the answer, where the statistics about the balls that come into the box at an angle. It seems that we still struggle to defend those balls as a team. Coach, if you could explain to us, is it a type of zone marking, or it's man marking where players are just not picking up the players, or they're marking a zone? Second part to my question, Joel Latibeaudiere, at Swansea, he played the right back position. I think for the past 3 or 4 years, Jamaica kind of has been struggling at that right back position. Teams tend to attack us down that area. Have you ever considered Joel Latibeaudiere, who is one of the harder working players, solid tackler, maybe just to shore up that position and maybe get a true defensive midfielder in his position? Thank you.
I'll think that suits me. Diagonal balls in the box doesn't matter. Right, left. We always have the same principles when defending. So if it's some tactical lessons you want here, no problem. So we play zonal defense, and zonal defense is changes when you get closer to your goal. So the more you are closer to your goal, the zones will become smaller and smaller. And in crosses, normally we are man marking. So the zones will be that small that you should be man marking. So that is, in theory, how zonal defense is played. So I hope that just answered the tactical question about balls in the box.
And about Joel Latibeaudiere?
Want to take Joel?
Sure. No, I can just do a passing. Is that it would be interesting to see the reference point out of that and the volume rate that we're talking about. But I'm just being humbled to be taught myself in that perspective too. But stepping into the other big part question about Joel, we're aware that he's been playing as a right back. We are well aware that he's been playing as an inverted left back in a 3, currently in Coventry. But it's always a question that needs to align with the overall balance of the team. There will be players that might be playing out of position in national team, but yet again, a different thing is that you have to take the club ship out and the national team ship in. It's the same kind of adaptation, and it's not about demeaning any other players or actually talking about that we actually admitting having a consistent problem on the right. It's more, it will be a continuous process, but we're pleased in a lot of perspective. We are kind of forgetting 19-year-old Dexter Lambaki, so that's pretty well pursued and looked upon in the English Championship. Jermaine Brown has been consistent in over the years, and Teddy Von Gray obviously playing just one half of Jamaican football so far, plus subbed in kind of minutes. So that volume of minutes have not given a bias to any sort of ways or decisions of that perspective, but we're looking constantly to improve. but aligning the questions with an overall balance as well.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much, JT. Thank you very much, Coach Helgrimson and Coach John Wall. We really appreciate it. And thank you very much to members of the media for tuning in to this afternoon's press conference. As just a reminder, tomorrow's match is at 7 p.m. This recording will be shared with you all so that you all are aware, and updates will be given in relation to the post-match press conference as well, so that you guys are aware as well. And finally, on Sunday, we will unveil the squad for the Canada games. Thank you all so much for tuning in, and we look forward to your usual support for these upcoming games. Coach, just before we end, there is a question in the chat in relation to the captain for tomorrow. Has that been decided just yet?
No, we have discussed it between us, but we don't want to reveal it. We haven't decided yet. So no, it's a few running for that office.
Okay.
A detail though, that the player would probably wear an armband, so it will reveal. Sorry.
Thank you very much, John. Thank you very much, Coach. To everybody, have a pleasant rest of the day, and we look forward to your support. Thank you, everybody.
The recording has stopped.